Yes, I think we can go ahead and start the meeting. We don't have a chair or vice chair, so if one of you would like to volunteer to run the meeting this evening. Correct. No one's on Zoom. Do you have your microphone turned on, Rex?
Now I do. Okay, so those present are
Alicia Lund
and Rex Miller. Is there any
Alicia
public,
Lund. Yeah. Thank you.
Is there any public comment at this time?
There's no public comment.
Okay. Since we can't make a decision on anything, but it would be nice to hear what's, I'd like to hear what's on the agenda. So let's jump to the public hearing, which is public.
So I don't think we can actually open the public hearing, but can they provide an overview of the project, or do we just have to defer it?
They could let you know about the project.
Sure.
But it is
Right. So could we get just kind of an overview of the project? Okay.
And then what we'll have to do is we'll have to defer the hearing to City Council, which will likely be scheduled for next week.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak towards this?
Absolutely. Do you want to do a preamble or just jump into it?
Well, I could go ahead and give a brief overview, and then if you wanted to jump in, that's fine. So the proposal is for a conditional use permit to allow for the renovation and remodel of the former J.C. Penney building at 181 West Anderson. The proposed use is an indoor participant sport and recreation facility. The existing structure is approximately 29,000 square feet. It was originally developed, like I said, as a 3-story JCPenney building. The most recent use was a call center, which discontinued use in November of 2022. I have all my notes here to go through all the requirements for the procedure for the hearing, but since we're not doing that piece today, I mean, we sent out the public notice. We haven't received any comments in opposition or in support of the proposal. We haven't received any. We do have some staff comments, of course, like building permits required, floodplain permit required. Public Works does want to see a technical memo from a qualified professional about the sanitary sewage flows just to make sure they're going to be adequate. And then really just obtaining any other required permits. And it supports our comprehensive plan, several goals, providing an indoor recreation facility, supporting economic development and revitalization of an existing structure. So seems like a pretty straightforward conditional use application. So Joe, if you wanted to come forward.
All right, Joe. State your name and your address.
Appreciate it. Pretty good little rundown. The building's been vacant for a little while. Cole Hampton, he's the potential owner, the owner-to-be in the middle of that transaction right now. So we were engaged a few months ago. Some of the first things we did, kind of did structural, what we did a preliminary structural analysis, floor loading, to see if the panel loading of
So in layman's terms, Joe, what is the conditional change you use? It was retail? Is this retail?
Well, no, in all fairness, it actually, the description of the recreational sports facility, indoor recreational sports facility, I mean, that's pretty accurate. And right there in the table, it says that use is
Okay.
permitted conditional. So there's a permitted outright use, it was like martial arts
Mhm.
space, that's permitted outright. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's all good.
Okay. So it'd be like a gym or something?
Yeah, well, sure, it's training for student athletes, wrestling mats,
Mm.
a lot of wrestling mats, there's also some softball batting cages,
Jeez.
and some, what can I say, golf simulation setups, a little bit of arcade. It kind of kicks it into the conditional use aspect of it as well. So,
Good.
that's a quick rundown. Sounds like I'll do this again Monday or next week. So I'll plan my act for next week. Any other questions?
No, it'd be, go ahead.
You can, excuse me if this is not an acceptable question. So I read through everything. Parking wasn't an issue. It sounds like you're already starting to think about traffic. I'm just thinking about loading zone drop-off areas and congestion. So I don't know if you need to, if that's already been accounted for in those proposed changes at the entrance, or if that's something that needs to be considered. It wasn't specifically called out in anything that I read, either from the code or from the design. So,
You're wondering how people are going to get dropped off?
yeah, like, are we creating a congestion problem on Second Street or on Anderson?
Yeah.
That was my,
Anderson,
Yeah.
and that's what the front door is. There is an ADA curb ramp down at the east end that we could maybe have some business for the ADA stuff. But we got to work with the public works department because it's not on our property.
Hmm.
There was a condition on there that I don't, kind of pushing back a little bit regarding enclosing or concealing, concealing the trash receptacles. We don't really, kind of confirmed with we don't really anticipate generating enough trash to leave a dumpster. So just garbage can, and if you're way back when, that space, that part of it looks like it's part of it, but Jason Penny was on the east side, that's not part of the project. That's a separate building. The garbage receptacles are in that alley, they call it an
Right.
alley, I think, the city calls it second floor.
Yeah.
But there's a myriad of dumpsters back there that's shared by a lot of people, so we don't really, it's kind of inconvenient for the owner of this building. We have a trash can roll.
Yeah.
So there's a roll-up door right on Second Street, that on trash day, you take it out. I actually talked to Tuesday Sanitation, they serve Second Street, so it seems like we don't need to bother with trash. That would be, we have to go through that very clearly.
My dad plumbed that building.
Oh, did you?
And he said he remembered cutting through stumps and logs to get the sewer stuff through. It was just a mess underneath, but they ran all their pipes. So.
I don't know, my mom taking me in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the only place to go.
Right.
The hub or pennies. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Joe. Well,
If you have anything to add?
okay. Well, planning commission's comments. Lisa, do you have anything?
no, the additional clarification, that was the only thing I could think of that wasn't explicitly identified. And were you able to find a resolve on the property ownership, or what the decision is on that?
So we hadn't gotten a response from the applicants or the representatives before the hearing. I think it would be, council, they can impose a condition that they remedy that issue and get reactivated with the state, or iron out that ownership. Yeah.
I don't have anything. What about staff comments?
Where are all our commissioners tonight?
Good question.
So that is a bummer. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything. But thank you for being here and participating.
Well, okay. With that, I guess we will adjourn.